Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Cordray, the last time you were here, we discussed the situation with non-deposit lenders and Operation Choke Point. And at that time, I asked you for a letter indicating your support for individuals and businesses that were doing business in a legal fashion with a legal entity to not be impacted, and you would support them. And I talked to you the other day, and we're working on a letter still, I take it. Is that correct? To that effect?
So I testified last week in front of Senate Banking Committee on this issue and indicated that, as we view it, people who are operating legally should be fined. People who are operating illegally should not be fined.
Right.
And that's the right divide here.
Right. We'd just like a letter stating that policy. Is there a problem with that?
Why don't you write to me, and then I'll write back to you.
Okay. We can do that. We thank you. Along those lines, we find that FDIC and DOJ are working together in this Operation Choke Point and have taken a scorched earth policy to trying to ferret out the bad actors. And while I do not support the bad actors, I fully support their efforts to find the bad actors in whatever entity, whatever industry there is. To do this in a way that harms the entire industry, in my judgment, is wrong. And so my question to you then is, are you working with either one of these agencies, the FDIC or the DOJ, or any of your people working with them with regards to Operation Choke Point, or those activities surrounding that operation?
I don't really know what the ambit of Operation Choke Point is. That's a Justice Department term. I believe that we work regularly with the other agencies on issues around Know Your Customer, which is a standard approach to bank supervision. Which is that if someone is facilitating illegal conduct, you know, they can be culpable, and they need to be very careful about that. The line I would draw is the same one you and I have just discussed, which is, are you operating legally or are you operating illegally?
Well, I would hope that you're working with them if somebody's operating illegally, but if they're operating legally, are you still in the loop here, still working with them to try and do the scorched earth theory of getting at every single individual in an industry and choking their financial services off?
I don't believe in a scorched earth approach. Again,
okay.
We need access to credit, and people who are operating legally should be operating legally. People who are operating illegally should be either operating legally, changing their ways, or going out of business. That's the right divide.
One of the things that I discussed with DOJ as well as the FDIC is that we need a safe harbor in place for the banks to be able to continue to do business with entities that are legal entities and doing it in a legal way. And they refuse to do that, and at some point we're going to have to probably do some legislation. Would you support legislation to provide a safe harbor for the banking industry to be able to continue to do business with legal entities doing business in a legal way?
So I'm not quite sure what to make of that, because the problem is it's a factual matter whether somebody's operating legally or illegally. For me to say, I think the law already says that if you're operating legally, you have a safe harbor. If you're operating illegally, you have no safe harbor. That's the law. The problem,
Mr. Director, is that, as you well know, there's intimidation going on here. There is bullying going on here by the FDIC in particular and by DOJ. They will go in and by inference say, hey, you shouldn't be doing business with these particular people, but refuse to put it in writing. So therefore, by refusing to put it in writing, they are bullying the bankers into no longer being able to provide financial services to an entire industry of people. It's going on with not just non-deposit lenders, but also doing it with gun manufacturers, ammunition manufacturers, and people who sell guns and ammunition. I mean, it's documented. Even the papers have got this information out now.
I don't know that that's so at the FDIC. I really don't know that that's so.
Well,
I've
talked with
press accounts about Operation Choke Point, and not clear on what the ambit of that is.
It's gone beyond just non-deposit lenders, and FDIC admits that they're doing this, and so we've got documented evidence by some of the stories related in the press, if the press is doing their business at all, that would be the case. So my concern is that are you willing to help us provide a safe harbor for those banks and stop this intimidation and this bullying that's going on with the FDIC and DOJ by putting in place a safe harbor? Would you support something like that?
If people are operating legally, they have a safe harbor by law. If they're operating illegally, they're not. The difficulty often is knowing which they're doing, and you have to dig in and really understand the facts and circumstances to know that. But I mean, I don't think you and I are far off from each other.
I don't think we are, but I'd like for you to say yes. I mean, yeah, I think you agree that safe harbor is necessary, but you won't do it.
Not sure what to make of that. Honestly, I'm not. Sorry.
Okay, well, I appreciate your comments this morning, and I'm running out of time, so I'll stop right there. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I thank the gentleman for